As soon as I show this video, now you could have found what we are going to speak today. It's none other than AutoGen. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to talk about AutoGen, an open source framework from Microsoft that allows complex workflows using agent. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's get started. AutoGen. AutoGen is somewhat the hot topic in AI, where we can try to accomplish complex workflows using multiple LLMs. AutoGen is nothing but we are setting an environment. Inside that, there will be multiple LLMs which could accomplish our task, a complex task also. Okay, in the world of computers, an agent is something like a special kind of software that can interact with the environment and other agents. They can also send messages and receive messages to complete complex tasks or have conversations within each other to understand what it is doing actually. Autogen agents can be powered by different things like LLMs or code executors, um, or even humans can also interact with the environment. This makes them very flexible and allows us to create a wide variety of workflows. Most complex use cases can be solved using this. Okay. For example, we could use AutoGen to create a workflow that automatically translates the document from one language to another. Or we could also use to create workflows that monitors the system's security for any threats currently going on. The use case which I have mentioned now may be simpler, but we could see in future and near future um, how complex it could solve everything. Okay, this is the part one. Soon we will see multiple parts and cover all the topics which is available in AutoGen. We could cover the parts like getting started, installation, and a tutorial of introductions on AutoGen. In getting started itself, we could see some images. Basically, getting started with already what I mentioned, like what AutoGen can do. It is something like an in an environment there are multiple LLMs which could do more things. That is in getting started, and in this image, right, we could see that here there are two agents like user proxy agent and an assistant agent where us like users ask to plot Meta's and Tesla's stock price in YTD. Basically it starts interacting with each other and trying to figure out and solve the errors, and as soon as sometime users again input to it, as also given to these two agents, and then at last it gives a output which the user expects or user desires output. Okay, then after this let's move with the installation part. Installation, when it comes to Python, right, we just need to create an environment. Within the environment we need to just install pip install PyAutoGen. That's it, everything will be done over that. And now currently we have a GUI version also, using Python script also we could write. um, when it comes to UI version, that we will see in later parts how to start the UI version and execute what is required, that we can see. Again, we could do with the Docker installation also. Docker images also available, and optional dependencies they mention over here. But when I tried it out, uh, it is somewhat AutoGen should be in some older versions. Some of the dependencies need AutoGen's PyAutoGen's older version, but the later version is more enough for us to get started. Okay, let's start with the tutorials. Let's try to cover other tutorials pretty soon. Let's start today with introduction, right? Introduction to AutoGen, right? Okay, let's start with why AutoGen. Think of an agent as a small computer program that can chat with other agents. They can send messages or receive messages, and they can even come up with the response using different tools. These tools can be anything from fancy language models to a simple computer program, or even like humans, what we give as an input. This lets agents to handle all sort of tasks like translating languages or keeping eye on computer security issues, like already I mentioned, right? Uh, then when it comes to building a complex workflows like right? Autogens are like Lego toys. We have known about Lego toys, right? For building computer workflows, or you can take up a simple agent and make a special feature to them, making them more powerful and giving access using. We can even try to run Python script, or we can give human valuable inputs in between their execution. Then we can connect these agents together to tackle big tasks. Imagine a team of agents working together to solve a problem, right? That will be a massive, which will give us more power on this, more understanding on different LLMs. Even one LLM makes a mistake, other LLMs can figure it out. That why autogens are special, right? There are two main things to make AutoGen show unique. First is consistently being improved by a bunch of clever engineers and researchers around this, backed by Microsoft actually. They're always adding new features to make sure that it stay in a state of the art frameworks. This is version 2. Version 1 was released before 6 months, I guess. The second one is it is being used by tons of different things. More open source developers, open source community is contributing to this. Open source community try to use this in a very great manner and try to solve their own use cases. Let's go with agents part. Okay, what are AutoGen agents? We have already talked what is agent, everything, but still when it comes to agents, right? uh, it is something like which able to tiny robots which is able to receive messages and respond accordingly. uh, these tool can be like anything, like a large language model like GPT-4, or any open source model, or any model which has an API and API key, right? That will allow as an agent. This flexibility allows agents to handle all types of tasks. um, okay. Let's start thinking about uh, building a team, right? AutoGen is like a workshop for building these super squads actually. I am mentioning here super squads as uh, these multiple agents. Let's start with the basic agent, and then we can add up special features to it, like different tools and more powerful tools. Here, the cool part is, right, you can connect the agents together and imagine the team's agent working side by side to solve a problem, which we seen in NVIDIA's and Metastock comparison, right? That is something more powerful in this. When we are saying super squads, right? Let's talk about, let's take some examples and explain that. uh, let's think of a super brain. These fancy language models can understand and generate text. These super brains can be like GPT-4. Then let's keep another agent called code ninjas, right? These can be run special programs and perform complex calculations. Then human experts, that's where we come. We can even bring our own inputs to the models. We could suggest new things over that. New task can be described, everything can be interpreted while the execution. Okay, at last, who can use the AutoGen, right? AutoGen is a great tool for anyone who wants to build a complex computer program. Using these teams are very helpful for them. Whether you are a beginner or an expert, AutoGen is something to offer you anything what you need in as a completed no, to be completed as a complex task. Now we can see an example how to execute a single agent, and we can also use multiple agents to set roles and make them conversate within each other. Okay. Here we can see an example of setting up a single agent, which is a GPT-4 agent. Here we need to give a open API key for the GPT-4 to execute. And do we need anything now? At least for now, uh, code execution config is set as false. And function map is something like I already mentioned. Even a single simple Python code can be executed. That is known as the function map. Now we are not going to give any function map. Does this agent need any human inputs in between? That is also set to never. And basically they are trying to ask agent or generate reply like message is something like content, tell me a joke. Role, who's this asking is something user, that is us, right? Then the reply is something like sure, let me tell a lighthearted joke, and it spit out a joke. I think this joke is something more common joke which is generated by GPT-4 or LLMs. Then when it comes to roles and conversations, here comes the multiple agents. One agent is known as Kathy, and the system prompt is your name. Your name is Kathy, and you are a part of a duo in a comedy. Then here comes the config. We are using same GPT-4, and the temperature is 0.9, and we are also passing the API key. Human input is neighbor. Then again, here is another Joe, and Joe is a system prompt is your name is Joe, and you are a part uh, of a duo of a comedian, comedians. Okay, here also same LLM config and human input mode. Basically, we are starting with the Joe.initiate chat of Kathy also passed as an input over here. Message is Kathy, tell me a joke, and max turn is equal to 0. Max turn means how much each agent should respond. That is known as the max turn. As soon as we start executing it, right? First, the Joe to Kathy is something like Kathy, tell me a joke. Kathy starts to say a joke. Joe replies to the joke which is generated by the Kathy, and it also asks some questions and within some answers. Then Kathy to Joe, it again responds. This is one max turn. This is first turn, and this is the second turn. This is first turn by Kathy, and this is second turn by Kathy. Both Joe and Kathy takes only 2 turns. That's why we have mentioned max turns is equal to 2. Okay. Let's see this in collab. When it comes to collaborate, main thing we need to do is we need to install PyAutoGen. Okay, let's just give pip install PyAutoGen. Let's just run anyway. Py Within that, PyAutoGen is running, right? Here also we are going to mention this. Here the example is also like the same Kathy and Joe's example. The main thing is something like we need to give OpenAI key as an input, uh, and we also need to configure these things. That is all the main things as a conversation. Uh, this is a single agent running. We already said, right, using only one GPT-4 to generate jokes. We could see the response of one GPT-4. Okay, why don't astronaut trust atoms? Because they make up everything. This is a very standard joke from LLMs, what they always generate. Let's see about roles and conversations. Here we are setting Kathy and Joe, and if we started running this out, right? We could see um, the it has been run. The temperature is 0.9 and 0.7. Let's If we start to run the results, right? First Joe to Kathy. Kathy, tell me a joke. Kathy to Joe, it tells some joke. And again Joe to Kathy, and Kathy to Joe. This I already mentioned that max turns is equal to 2. What if we turn to 3? Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. It makes up 3 conversation within each other. Uh, Done, right? This is something very fantastic and very exciting to us. Now let's try out changing the system messages. Your name is Kathy, and you are a part of a duo of no. Let's change this to you are a part of rocket science team. Let's copy paste this to Joe also. Let's set this as system prompt for both of them. And Kathy, tell me, Joe, Kathy, what is rocket science? Right? Let's start executing. This will be going to be interesting, right? Kathy, what is rocket science? Rocket science is a branch in aerospace engineering, and it starts explaining very long sentences. And Joe says, "Thank you, Kathy. As rocket scientist, my job involves a lot of complex calculations." Then Kathy says to Joe, "Absolutely, the immense level of details." Then Joe says to, "Yes, yes, you're right, Kathy. Everything a single detail matters in rocket science." And again, Kathy says to Joe, as you should be. It's wonderful to hear to passion and dedications. They both each other talk, right? This is something interesting. We are now just seeing out what is just text explanations, but in near future or there will be multiple use cases understanding the whole code base. One will be handling one will be like thinking how to generate codes. One agent will be thinking how to solve errors. One agent will be thinking how to generate unit test for this code. Everything will be done with agents, right? uh, at last, this AutoGen is something like, uh, as already mentioned, multiple agents, multiple LLMs getting involved to complete complex task. Now today we have seen a very simple, very simple and introduction task. In pretty soon we will see other use cases for AutoGen, and how it can be utilized for our own day-to-day lives. Thank you guys. Thank you.